you brought up Lil Nas X. And
this should be good.
He's definitely stirred up a hornet's nest this past week or so with the video that he came out with. And this kind of goes back to the theme of the show today is, again, just because you can doesn't mean you should. Just because you can make a video sliding down a pole to the depths of hell to give Satan a lap dance doesn't necessarily mean you should.
Yeah. And I think that it's been interesting listening to people talk about this and people's opinion of this. The first thing I would say is, of course, I don't particularly care for the video or the messaging of the video.
Of course, yes.
Of course I don't.
Really? You don't?
And I put that on a number of lists of videos, not
just his.
It's not just his. There's a number of videos that I don't particularly care for. And I would put that in the bucket. The thing that really made me think about this whole issue more broadly is when he was responding on Twitter to the video to some people that were attacking him. And he basically said that he doesn't care if people in the Christian community don't like the video and feel bad about it, because he, growing up, was made to feel bad about himself in the Christian community because he's a gay man.
Which makes sense given the era that I've seen us grow up in.
Yes.
I understand that.
And that, to me, changed the complexion of the conversation that we should be having about this. The conversation about this is an individual. Do I like what he did? No. And even to what he was trying to accomplish in all of this, this is a guy who's written a kid's book. This is a guy who is a role model for a lot of gay guys who are coming up right now. I don't feel that what he did in that video will help prevent the next generation of kids from being treated the way that he treated and feels is such a negative thing.
Excellent point.
I just don't feel like it'll get, because I would have really welcomed and loved to hear what he experienced in the Christian community, because as a Christian, I want to prevent that wholesale.
I want people to feel loved in the community.
Exactly. We should.
That's Christ-like love. That's it.
That's got to stop.
I don't care. Sexual orientation. Either you love the human being and the person, or you don't. That's it. And Christ loved everybody. That needs to be what our mandate is.
Yes. And so you're now putting yourself in a position where I would hope that as he thinks about the next generation of kids, because now this is turned into a turf war again. Yeah. It's turned into, well, we don't like you guys and you don't like us. And then you got all these 6-year-old white guys who are watching this video like they were Lil Nas X fans before, and they're aghast that, oh my gosh, I can't believe this has happened. It's like, guys, welcome to the internet. Have you ever heard of porn? Like, there's a lot of stuff on the internet that you don't want to see that's probably not fruitful for you.
Or fruitful for children too.
So don't watch it.
So, the thing is I also feel like, to add to that, is that you're right about him doing a children's book, him performing Old Town Road, which is an all-time hit, one of the top hits in the history of music, and he's performing in elementary schools, and for kids and for children. And I feel like, granted, this guy is like the ultimate catfish. Okay, so I'm gonna do Old Town Road, and I'm gonna do a dance with it, and I'm gonna go to kids' elementary schools. But really, if you click on it, you find out who I am. I'm really the devil, giving the devil lap dances. I feel like that's the ultimate bait and switch.
Yeah.
I don't like bait and switching children.
Yeah.
Adults, we could turn this off. Yeah. And I want to draw a line here between what I think is completely just flat out just immoral by bringing Satan in this whole thing. Because, by the way, you can do it. It's freedom of speech. It's a free country.
Yeah.
So we aren't sitting here arguing that he can't do it, or no, you can do whatever you want to do. But I want to draw a hard line between that and kind of the hypersexualization that we've seen in our culture. Because let's be honest, WAP isn't special.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, like we grew up with Foxy Brown and Lil Kim and Uncle Luke and like.
And when we were in college, Nelly, the Tip Drill video came out.
And Nelly. Let's not get too preachy. This has been happening for 30 years.
Absolutely.
I want to draw a hard line though between hypersexualization and giving the devil a lap dance.
Yeah.
Especially when you were dancing to Old Town Road across the country in front of children.
Yeah.
At some point, when you are modding Nike shoes and putting human blood in them and selling 666 pairs for $1,000 a piece, at some point, we have to look at that and say, okay, that might be enough.
Yeah. And to your point, Wesley, and this is something that I think quite a bit about, is what were really the motives behind this. And I truly believe that you have an individual, and I'm not going to doubt this guy's talent at all, right?
Yeah, clearly.
I mean, like, not going to doubt this guy's talent.
Clearly.
You have a talented individual who, because of the way that he was raised, felt hurt.
Yeah.
Okay? And the thing that he could do to get back at the community that hurt him, the biggest thing you could do to a Christian community is, let's bring the devil into it, right?
Yeah.
So it was his way of
exacting vengeance,
clapping
almost
back, or trying to hurt a community that he felt hurt him. Now, on one end, that community shouldn't have hurt him, and
I
we
agree.
as a community need to get better.
And we need to accept that.
And on the other end, two wrongs don't make a right. And him trying to get back in that way was not only, in my opinion, inappropriate, but it also lessens his ability to have the positive effect that he's trying to have, which I think, and I don't know him, so I don't know this to be the case, would be so that other kids who are growing up like him don't have to deal with the same garbage that he grew up with in the community. And this doesn't help that.
Doesn't help it at all. And I think, to your point, I think he's trying to do that. So people do very provocative things to elicit a response.
I'm a Prince fan, man, so I get it.
Wrendon, Prince was walking around assless chaps.
He sure was. Sure was, man.
I mean, people do provocative things in order to get attention. I understand that this was an attempt to get attention, to elucidate a group of people in the manner in which you are talking about right now, in terms of, this is what happened to me, and this is basically my vindication for that. That, and also making money. I think he wants to sell some shoes too. Yeah. I think he wants to sell merchandise. I think that
all
video
money's not good money.
All money, another Willie Hunt quote. All money is
all money's not good money.
It's not good money. And I think from here on, he has to now kind of go through his career with a lot of people being like, now, so how are you going to top that?
Yeah.
So now what's next?
Yeah.
You lose a sense of credibility when you go that extreme. Look, I get why you did it, and Wrendon, maybe he got everything he wanted out of it.
And look, he's not the first one either. I mean, we've seen this with Marilyn Manson. We saw it with Ozzy Osbourne. We've seen this before.
This is not new.
But I used to have a theater teacher who used to say something that I thought was very interesting.
Who?
We used to, Mr. McDonald.
Mr. McDonald.
Yeah, great guy.
What a gem.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I look back on past decisions I've made in life. We didn't always behave the best way in his class, okay? And whenever me and my buddies would be doing something we shouldn't be doing, he would always stop and he'd say, "Now you have my attention. Now what are you going to do with it?" Mm-hmm. And that's something that's interesting, that we'll see what Lil Nas X does with this. You have our attention. You've got the attention of millions and millions of eyes across the globe. Now, what are you going to do with it?
You know, we grew up with a sign, with a saying that was, like, tell the truth and shame the devil. And I feel like this has now been morphed into tell a lie and give the devil a lap dance. like this just.
I've never heard that one.
So what happened? But what happened?
Yeah.
What happened? And I also kind of want to talk about what you kind of addressed too, and that's the outrage, which I think people are too quick to being outraged from the right. You're right. If you don't like it, just turn it off.
Yeah.
So aside from the children argument, if you're an adult, turn it off.
Yeah.
This is a free country. You can say and do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it.
No, and there's so many, and once again, not to say that it's okay because there's other bad things, but it's not like this is new or novel.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not the only thing out there. It's not the Nudie magazine. Like, it's not the only thing out there.
Nudie magazine day.
Yeah. Billy Madison. Very good.
Nudie magazine day.
You know, there's...
I can't believe you just said nudie magazine.
I make a bingo card for every day of things I need to check off.
Yeah,
and
that's
Nudie magazine.
That's a bingo.
Was on that list.
Yeah.
But no, it's not to ameliorate what he did by saying that others are doing it too, or it makes it okay. But once again, this faux outrage that this is the worst thing that's ever happened until the next thing that's the worst thing that ever happened is. And once again, like I say this as somebody who is a Republican, and as we step back and think about policing our own ranks, I mean, look, guys, we have a guy in Congress who's showing pictures of women that he's slept with, his conquests, to other members of Congress.
As a Republican, policing your own ranks.
As a Republican.
Unacceptable.
So this is what we have going on, and once again, it's this sliding scale of morality that has become really problematic in our culture more broadly.